In this video, we're going to take a look at divisibility and mental math, and how we can use some of the rules for divisibility to figure out, to do problems out mentally. So, the first word we need to understand is what divisibility is. One number is divisible by another number, by a second number, if the first number can be divided by the second with a remainder of 0. So, in other words, it's important to think about how we can divide a number. And there are some tricks to help us see if we can divide one number by a second without having to do the whole problem out, by just simple little tricks. So a whole number is divisible by 2 if the number ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So in other words, if a number is even, it is divisible by 2. And if a number is not even, then it's odd, which means it's not divisible by 2. I know if something's divisible by 3 if the sum of the number's digits is divisible by 3. I know it's divisible by 5 if the number ends in 0 or 5. Divisible by 9 if the sum of the number's digits is divisible by 9. Or 10 if the number ends in 0. So let's break this down a little bit to help us to remember it a little bit better. I always think about 2, 5, and 10 being about the ending, where a 5 has to be a 5 or a 0, which makes sense because if you start counting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, they're all ending in a 0 or 5. I think about 10 the same way. It has to end in a 0, because if I start counting, it's 10, 20, 30. Okay, it's all ending in a 0. And then 2 has to be an even number. So once again, it's about the ending. Ending in a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, they're all ending in a 2, a 0, a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 0. So they're all even. So the 2, 5s, and 10s are relatively simple because we're so used to them. The 3s and the 9s are going to be a little bit more challenging because it's dealing with the sum of the digits. What this means is if I give you a number 327, what that basically means, if I want to check and see if it's divisible by 3 or by 9, I'm going to take the 3, the 2, and the 5, and I'm going to add each of the digits together. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. I'm going to now look at this number. So it has nothing to do with the ending. It has nothing to do with the fact it ends in a 7. But by adding each of these digits together, I get the number of 12. I check, is it divisible by 3? 12 is divisible by 3. So yes. Is it divisible by 9? No. So the number isn't divisible by 9. So if I do out the number, okay, the division, 327 divided by 3, I get 1. Goes into 2 0 times, goes into 27, 9. So 3 times 109 is going to give me 327. If, on the other hand, I try to do 327 divided by 9, 9 goes into 27 3 times, subtract 27, left with 5. 9 goes into 57 6 times, subtract 54. I'm left with a remainder of 3. I don't need to go any further because divisibility is about being able to divide evenly, divide with a remainder of 0. So let's do a couple of examples. Let's go and give you the number 5,400. Okay. I check. Is it divisible by 2? Yes, because it ends in a 0. Is it divisible by 5? Yes, because it ends in a 0. Divisible by 10? Yes, because it ends in a 0 as well. Okay. I next then look, is it divisible by 3? I don't worry about the ending number. This is when I take the 5, the 4, the 0, and the 0, and I add them together. I get 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. So yes, this is. And then I do the same thing with 9. I take the fact that 5 plus 4 plus 0 is equal to 9. Since 9 is divisible by 9, I get yes, this is. So 5,400 would be divisible by all the numbers we talked about, the 2, 5, 10, 3, and 9. Let's look at 323. Is it divisible by 2? No. Ends in a 0. Is it divisible by 10? No, it ends in a 0. Or ends in a 3, it doesn't end in a 0. Divisible by 5? No, because once again it ends in a 3, not a 5 or a 0. Then I check 3. Now be careful here, because it ends in a 3 doesn't mean it's divisible by 3. I have to take the 3 plus the 2 plus the 3. I get 8. Is 8 divisible by 3? No, it's not. So 323 is not divisible by 3. And then 9, since it's not divisible by 3, it's not divisible by 9 either. So this is going to be no, because 8 does not divide by 9. At least evenly. To go a little bit further, there is also a rule for divisible by 6. If a number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, we say that it's divisible by 6 as well. So if I look at the 5,400, since it was divisible by 2 because it ends in a 0, and it was divisible by 3 because 5 plus 4 plus 0 is 9, 9 is divisible by 3, I would say that yes, it is divisible by 6 as well. Okay. It has to be divisible by both 2 and by 3 as well, and then we're able to say it's divisible by 6. So hopefully this has been helpful. Looking forward to practicing divisibility.